All right, welcome. Latest installment of the Run to Daylight podcast. I'm your host, Todd Burrows. You can find me at Best Ball NFL. And we chose a day with plenty of preseason games, so I'm sure a lot of you will be watching this on Rewind. It is the second Draftsharks Discord podcast. So I am going to share my screen so you guys can see everything that's going on in a second. First, I'm going to shut down my my mail so I don't get those screen thingies. And let's see, share screen, entire screen. You will see everything that I see. And all right, let me try and make that a little bigger for you. It doesn't matter. All right, you're going to see everything. So there's not going to be a ton of new ground covered here. I'm drafting from the 10 p.m. I'm drafting from the 10th spot. I've been getting a spate of late picks lately, which to the point of frustration. But 10, at least, I can do a few things different than the 12 that I have at 9:30, and the 12 that I had last time, and like 3 or 4 other 12s that I've had recently. So I know you came to join this pod so you could see how frustrated I am over my draft position, instead of teaching you guys something. All right, so you're going to see 1 minute, 27 seconds left. Matrix Solver, that's Dave Hubbard. He is one of the big high stakes guys, pretty new to best ball. Let's see, league owners. So you can go in here. You can go to myffbc.com and find and get yourself a membership, and then or join, and then you can play. Let's go back to this league, and you can see ended up with, this is my 103rd league in this tournament, and then they drop a tournament 2 on me. So my wallet has been crying all day long because I'm sure I will do about 30 of those. Billy Musio and I are going to do some. And let's see, Discord 2, owners. So who do I know? This guy Bullseye's been in a number of these. CJ Camp, I've seen a few different times. Draft guy. But a lot of newbies, So hopefully we get some values dropping to the end of the round. You're also going to see I've updated my ownership. We'll sort it by best ball tourney. And as I pointed out last time, I don't know more than 23% seems to be my magic number. When I do my theory right, I just, and a lot of lineups, it's about where I max out using my strategy. If you look at regular best ball, where I did 37, you can even see I did 103. Didn't realize that. And then regular best ball, I did 37, and it's 28 rounds. I have 45% Travis Fulgham, who looks like a bench warmer, 37% Philip Lindsay, Kyle Rudolph, I was drafting late. You see kickers and defense now. Big position on Jalen Hurts. Jeff Wilson, that didn't work out too well. Kylan Hill, he didn't end up in a good spot. Byron Pringle, Cole Kmet, Carson Wentz. Hopefully he gets back soon. But you draft 3 quarterbacks in the $35 best balls. But back to the tournament that we're actually doing. There we have that. Then we have the ADP of the draft board for the last 3 days. You see that I'll be looking at Diggs, Barkley, maybe Aaron Jones. Oh, that's right. I have the 10 for once. Austin Eckler might make it back. And then coming back this way, I can go, maybe Taylor will come back, Gibson, Chubb, Ridley. I could reach for Najee. Let's go take a look at Najee. So his ownership in this has been moving up for me, 15%. That's about as much as I want of Najee. So I don't think I'll do that. Mixon, he goes late in the round normally. I got 13% of him, so I don't need to reach there. Kittle, I am a little low on, 7%. So that if I draft him, that would get me much closer to even weight on George Kittle, which is not a bad idea. He's someone I can keep in mind if no one drops. And as you can see, I am 1, 2, 3, 4 picks away. Zeke, who just went, Adams, Waller, Eckler. 3 picks. I will get one of those
you are
3.
Up next.
And there goes Devontae. So I will get Waller or Eckler. I really don't care which one. I do have more Eckler than Waller, but I don't mind it. Where is he? So I've got 13% Eckler and Waller 6%. So I wouldn't mind another Waller, but we'll see what the Terminator's 125 does.
Now you are on the clock.
And he took Waller. So I'm going to take Eckler. I don't think there's any choice there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks away. Aaron Jones, Diggs, Barkley, Taylor. And who do I want my 5th to be? I want to look at Hopkins and Ridley. Of course, Dustin Hopkins comes up. 7% DeAndre Hopkins and Ridley 8.74. So I think that I'm going to put both in the queue. So Ridley and Hopkins. I could use another share of either one of those. And we'll look at the bye week. Eckler has a 7. Nobody else has a 7 that's here. And Diggs just went. I really don't have much stuff on Diggs. I hope he does. And I love Diggs. But he's coming off his biggest year. They added Sanders. And maybe Josh Allen regresses a little bit this year. Any surprises? Oh, I need to open up the draft board. We'll go back over here. So Matrix Solver didn't go funky. He just went straight. Aaron Jones went at 12, not surprisingly.
You are up next.
Ooh, Hopkins goes early, which is fine. I don't have a lot of Barkley, and I was fading him all year, but he's doing much better. I only have 4% Barkley, so I wouldn't mind him. And Jonathan Taylor.
Now you are on the clock.
I have who got taken. Gibson. So I am leaning Barkley here, but let me look at Taylor because I think Barkley's going to make it back. I still have questions about that offensive line, but I've got 8.5% of Taylor. At one point, I was much stronger on Taylor. I'm going to go Barkley. I actually have to take him, don't I? I like Ridley, too. 3rd round. I'm going to take Barkley. Where was I at on Ridley? Yeah, it's about even weight on Ridley. he was another guy that at one point I had like 15% of. Getting a bunch of 12 and 11s late took down some of my ownership on these guys. Where did I end up on Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Still 15%. So, yeah, he's my highest in the first 2 rounds. I think he was the best value on the board. And I'll open up the comments in case anybody has any. You don't. And like I said, I don't expect a ton of people to be watching this live, but if you're there, hi, ask some questions, make it go better. All right, so I have to fill my queue for next time. Quarterback, I'm not taking one. Chubb, 1. Mixon, 2. Blair, Dobbins, Swift for the next pick. So where last time you would see me take enough for the 2 picks, with 6 in between, that's enough time for me to adjust. So I'm just going to look to get enough players to get to my next pick. Robinson, I really don't want Woods, Evans, Cooper, or Cup. Get it? Cooper, Cup, Cooper, and Cup. Tight end, Kittle, Pitts, and Hawkinson. All right. That's all the people I have in that tier. 15 names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 14 names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 13 names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'm 1 short. Of course I am. So, but I only need 1 person to reach. Who would I take? Let me make sure I didn't miss anyone because that happens sometimes. Chubb, Metcalf, Lamb, Keenan Allen, Dobbins, McLaurin, Robinson, Swift. So this is why I hate being at the 10 right now, because now I'm looking at, some guys who I really don't want, but I'll put Mike Evans in as the 13th. I've been kind of high on them lately. And the last time I don't think we did the strategy, so I got 11.65 on Mike Evans. So if he falls, I will be happy. You don't need to see Twitter right now. You don't need to see the owners. And that's that. And question from Rican Rivers. What's the last reasonable round to wait for tight end in the Ffbc? Can you clarify that question a little bit? Because you need at least 2 in best ball. I mix it up because I'm a high volume player. So what I can do, Rican, is I can sort by position. Well, let's not sort by position. Best ball tourney. So Hurst. So Fant is, he goes in the 6th, 7th round, 18%. Jonnu, 16%. Goddard, 4. All right. So the early guys, 18, 14 for Goddard. It's 33 with the percentage. Andrews, 9 is 42. 8, Kittle is 50. 56 with Kels. 62 with Waller. So 62% of the time, I take in what I consider a early tight end. You could probably throw Higbee in there too, but I don't. All right. I really feel that after Goddard and Fant, there is a drop-off. Oh, that came up quick. This one's going quick. Well, this is good news. The bad news is it was at running back, not at wide receiver. Swift. I've got 11.65. Dobbins, 7.77. Can't do the strategy if I take a running back. So let's see who goes. If Evans goes, I'm definitely going to take a running back.
Now you are on the clock.
Swift, who is the running back I preferred. So I am going to take Mike Evans. I like Dobbins a lot, but I'm going to take Mike Evans here. I talk about being balanced, and the difference between these two guys is not worth being unbalanced. And I will take him. I will throw Chris Carson in, Robert Woods, Cooper, Mark Andrews, and Chris Godwin. So all these guys are guys that I would consider with 4 picks to go. It's the 12th of never, and I'll never. You're welcome, Recan Rivers. If you're around and you have questions, now's the time to ask. I got a lot of time between picks. So we saw David Montgomery go and Dobbins go. So 2 running backs after I took one. So I'm definitely going to get either a tight end I like in Mark Andrews or one of 4 wide receivers that I like. I will not be taking Chris Carson. I will leave him in the take him out just in case.
You are up next.
Cooper Kupp just went.
Now you are on the clock. Up next.
All right. I am going to go with Chris Godwin. So now I have 2 wide receivers and 2 running backs. Time to fill the queue. Quarterbacks now come into my equation. Mahomes went, obviously. So for 5-10, I would consider Kyler. I've been taking some Lamar, but I'd like to make it without putting him in the queue. Carson, Henderson, Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, and Travis Etienne are all guys I would consider a running back. So there's my tier. Cooper, Lockett, Moore, Higgins, Julio, Deontay, Thielen, Chase, Ayuk, Claypool. So that's 17 names. And then I've got Mark Andrews, and that's it. All right, still 17 names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I'm 2 names short. So again, this is why I don't like the 10. If you've watched me before, I like to not have to reach. So we talked about Lamar Jackson, and he's now in there as 17. I'm not going to put one of them in. Wide receiver is where I would do it. Jerry Jeudy's been going earlier than Odell Beckham, which makes no sense to me. No sense. I've got a lot of Odell Beckham in this tourney. But I want this team to be a Todd team, so I added Odell. 17 names. All right, so I'm up on another draft. You guys feel like watching me make another pick? Link to the draft board, yes. Link to the draft board. Link to the draft board. Absolutely, Kevin Wheeler. What's up, Wheels? Wheels in the sky keep on turning. Don't know where I'll be tomorrow. De nada, Mr. Wheeler. I appreciate you checking in and being part of this. I love it, man. I love having you around. Really good drafter, Kevin Wheeler, folks. All right. So, my teams. Run to FTN Fantasy. Oh, that's one I can't make on my own. It's an Elliot Christ one. Elliot Christ team. But we can take a look. I'm not going to look at another draft board and point out to the bad roster construction. Maybe we'll do a little bit of that on this one. So we got Kyler. So having Brady fall to the 9th round isn't going to do us any favors. We've only got 2 running backs, 4 wide receivers, and a tight end. Oh, I like this team. Yummy. Gordon or Connor for me. Time to get out my Elliot Christ text. That's really it. All right, I also threw in Shark. See if Elliot tags me back. We'll get rid of that for now. Don't know where I'll be tomorrow. Wheels in the sky keep on turning. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 7 names. Who was the guy I didn't want that went? I don't know. I'm just happy. I'm going to guess the guy who took Hopkins early is going to take Kyler. Who was that? Draft board. Hopkins early. No, he's in between. I could snipe him. I could snipe you, Streamer T28. And if Kyler's the best player on the board because of his rushing upside and the fact that you can stack him late with a couple players, I certainly could do that. I don't want Josh Jacobs. I don't want Travis Etienne because I started with 2 and 2. I got 2 good running backs. I do not feel the need to take a running back in the dead zone. My singing is really bad, Wheeler. I very much appreciate you lying to me. I am an awful singer.
You are up next.
I am up next. So I could go Kyler or Odell. Don't mind either. Let's look at my ownership on, and this is a day behind, so I took 2 Lamars today. I've got 874 on Kyler and 971 on Lamar. So I think I'm going to go Kyler if he makes it.
Now you are on the clock.
He did not make it. Oh, Kyler, I barely knew you. Bum, 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 bum. All right. I'm going to go with my old trusty Odell Beckham. And I've got a good bit of Odell. I got 21.36. So more Odell than I really would like. But I really think he's one of the best values in this area. And so I took him. And I'm actually not going to take Lamar. next pick, even if he makes it back, and I can explain later. I might consider Chase Edmonds. And I really like to win the flex with wide receivers. So I've now got 3 wide receivers. So I'm okay with Robbie, Boyd, Judy, Juju. I won't take Antonio Brown when I've got a couple Tampa Bay guys already. And so that's enough. I don't need any more players. Don't have a lot of Chase Edmonds. Even weight on Edmonds. His running mate, James Conner, I've got a lot of. And I've got them together. I've stack cuffed them a few times.
You are up next.
I'm up next. Juju and Chase went, so nice little Arizona stack for Streamer, but he did not get his Kyler. So Robbie, Boyd, and Judy. Man, I don't have a lot of Judy. I actually like Courtland Sutton more than Jerry Judy. But I know a lot of smart people who really like Jerry Judy. I only have 3%.
Now you are on the clock.
Robbie Anderson, I'm at 12%. Oops. That's an old board. And the third, and Tyler Boyd. So you see how I'm checking my ownership as I do this. So I've got 8.74 Tyler Boyd. So I really could use, Judy went. So I don't even have to worry about that. Sutton, he actually could make it back. Probably not with me podcasting. I'm a little overweight on him. I got off for a little while when there was a talk of his injury. I've got enough Robbie. Boyd, week 10.
15 seconds left.
I think Sutton. All right, I'll take a Tyler Boyd. Yeah. Even up a little bit. I had plenty of Robbie. All right, so quarterback, Lamar, Dak, Russ, Rodgers, Herbert, and Brady are all in play. Running back, Mike Davis, Kareem Hunt. Mike Davis, Kareem Hunt, Myles Gaskin, Sermon, Carter, James Robinson. Wide receivers, I got to put AB in there. You know what? I made a mistake. Noah Fant I should have taken Noah Fant there in the 6th. Oh well, not the end of the world. We got a lot of Noah Fant. Elliott just came in with a Shark. I just want to make sure you understand. Wheeler. I like the Boyd pick. Judy probably getting more targets, more than Sutton, you mean? I would agree with that. I just think that Sutton is going to have, well, I just think Sutton, you think he's the more explosive player? I think Sutton's the more explosive player. But Judy, I don't know. A lot of people that are smarter than me like Jerry Judy. So I might so I talked Elliott into James Conner because we only have 2 running backs. That could be fun. I could take you guys through a few of my other teams. Maybe go back a week or 2 ago and find some that don't have that have.
Now you are on the clock.
All right, so we are going to go James Conner. I think that could be fun. All right, so here's this board. Big Blue went 2, 4, so he's now 3, 4. Very smart here. Dalvin Cook, DK Metcalf, McLaurin, Higgins, DJ Moore, Antonio Brown. And then he's stacked DK Metcalf. So he's winning the flex really well. He's been good at picking late running backs. This team, 3 running backs early, 2 and 2. I don't think I would have taken Rodgers here. Not with Alvin Kamara, Chubb, and Sanders, and going tight end. I might have waited quarterback here. Kelson Pitts, so he reaches for Pitts to take him in the 2nd round, even though he has Kelsey. Then he reaches for Mahomes, and then he takes Josh Allen. So this dude is most likely dead in the water. He named his team Victory, and I don't see Victory as happening. I could end up being wrong. It's possible. I like the James Robinson pick in the 7th, but now he's only got 1 wide receiver and 2 quarterbacks. So almost every week he's going to have a nice 30-point quarterback week. But one of his top 5 picks is also going to be sitting on the bench every week. So there's that. I am starting to get worried about something, but I will not talk about it. So I really like Debo. Wheels in the sky keep on turning. Don't know where I'll be tomorrow. All right, I got to stop singing. I'm sweating it, Wheels. I'm sweating it, what you talked about. I'm sweating it. And of course, CCBBT14.
You are up next.
Is waiting to the end. He takes Dallas Goedert. That was someone that I certainly would have considered. The Terminators. Team 4 is a mess. Agreed. Tight end is concerning. Rico, you mean me not having one? Watch. Watch me, friend. Still plenty of good tight ends.
Now you are on the clock.
All right. So the reason I was sweating is because I've got Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. So what do I want? I want Mr. Tom Brady. Now, let's go look at his ADP. And it's in the 8th round. So I'm taking him a little early. But why take a chance on that when I'll get someone almost as good coming back? No brainer in my mind. Tom Brady, I've seen him go in the 7th a lot lately. And so now when you look at my draft, it makes more sense. This is what I've been doing late, right? So this is how I'm trying to make up for having late picks, by being really tight and correlated. 2 good running backs, win the flex with 4 good wide receivers, and then stack and have a monster stack and get your quarterback. So, Rika, that's why I am willing to pass on tight end. It's a risk, but I've got a few tight ends that I like that I think have upside. And so there's that. All right. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys.
You are up next.
I don't want Justin Herbert anymore because oh man, that sucks. I was going to take Irv Smith, and it's early for Irv Smith. So I was going to reach. This guy reached really hard. Irv Smith
Now you are
normally
on the
goes
clock.
at 9.3. He took him at 8.1. And then Tunyon went. So this is going to be one of those drafts where the tight ends go early. So here's my choice. I could reach, or I could take some value, and I'm going to take value. I'm going to take Mr. Deebo Samuel, one of my most known players, and I'm going to patch tight end together. And this is best ball. So I now have 5 really good wide receivers and 2 good running backs, a quarterback, and no tight ends. So next time around, I probably will not consider a quarterback. Running back, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know I like him. 6. Wide receivers, Mike Williams, Michael Gallup, Devonta Smith, Brandon Cooks, DJ Shark, Michael Thomas, Mecole Hardman, Jarvis Landry, Curtis Samuel, Jalen Waddle, and I don't think Mooney for the next pick. Tight end, is there anyone I would consider at the 9-10? Maybe one of these 2 guys. All right, so Jonu's hurt. All right. Yep. I am the GOAT. Thank you, Rican Rivers. Oh, wait, you met Tom Brady. Sorry. Good pick. Reaching 5 spots really isn't reaching. Correct. And it's in the same tier. I didn't reach a tier. There were no names on. Now, you saw me look at the board before I took Brady just to make sure there wasn't someone too good that it was worth risking not getting him. But there wasn't. Wheels in the sky keep on turning. All right, let's go back to the draft board. So you can see my construction starting to come into play. 2, 5, 1, 1, 2, 5. Let's go. What teams didn't I do? All right, so like this team's a mess already. And this is one of the things I talk. This team's a mess already. So this is the Hong Kong flu version of 0RB. And he has gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide receivers, a tight end and a quarterback, no stack with his quarterback, and no running backs. It could work. It could work. It has worked. But he's going to need some luck at running back. This guy is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is all he should have stopped at 4. You know, and if only taking a 5th late, but he took a 5th early, you know, again, it could be these guys could fill out the flex, but ideally you want wide receivers for the flex. I don't dislike any of the players that he took except for Javonte a little early, and Deontay a little early. So he's reaching as well through the early rounds, which I don't really like doing, although he might not consider Deontay reaching. This guy's already taken 3 tight ends, so now we see why why I'm having trouble at tight end. But he's only got 2 wide receivers and 3 running backs. Now, tight ends are very, very okay for the flex in this format, so this could work for him. Let's see what he does with it. Another 2 tight end team. And only 2 running backs, 1, 2, 3, 4 wide receivers. Another I don't get this. Kyler and Lamar, one of your top 6 picks is going to be sitting on your bench every week. And the floor and there's plenty of weeks where one guy will score 23, the other one will score 21. One guy will score 26, the other will score 23. You're not gaining that many extra points. Overall. And so I don't like it. And we'll come back to this discussion. Did Jonnu go? Yeah, Jonnu went in the 8th round. So that's another one of my tight end targets that went early. But I'm going to continue to make them pay by making good picks and getting tight end later. Wheels in the sky. I can't get that out of my head, Wheels. I just can't get it out of my head. Am I missing anyone? Shark, Tannehill, Fournetcation, Ronald Jones, Jarvis Landry.
You are up next.
Yeah.
Now you are on the clock.
All right. So Shark went. So a really smart thing I could do here would be to take James Conner as my 3rd running back. Barkley might miss a few games early. If I had gone a different way at running back, I might not go running back here. And I've got a lot of James Conner, but it's a good offense. I love him as a 3rd running back. So, yeah, I'm behind the 8 ball, but you go back to my construction. And now you've got 3 running backs, 5 and 1 quarterback with a monster stack. We're making the most here. We're making the most. Rondell Moore in the 9th. Wow. I like Rondell Moore. Did he do something already tonight? Because that would lead me to believe he did. Wheels, let's go look, Wheels. Let's go to NFL.com. Let's go look at scores. NFL is just so slow.
You are up next.
I'm up next. No score yet.
Now you are on the clock.
All right, so I'm going to go Evan Ingram. I don't have a ton of Evan Ingram. It gets me a pretty decent tight end with some upside. I think that's a no-brainer. Make my friend Rican Rivers happy. Okay, thank you, FFQ later. They fed him the ball early, but nothing huge. Okay. Well, I know this dude. Hey, man, what's up? He DM'd me, give me some nice information. All right. Rondell has been climbing, but I still get him in the 12th, 13th, and even the 14th once in a while. But that's the good thing, right? Like, so I like Rondell. And I started a little late, but I've got 14%. So almost 2x on him in the tournament. And you can see I did start late because I only have 10.83 overall. And, look, I mean, Hopkins is going to be the big dog there. The other guys are going to see action. I do not feel the need to reach for Rondell Moore. I don't know that he has that kind of explosive upside. And now, I talk about balance, but now I've got 1 and 1 on the 2 positions, quarterback and tight end. Although I'm open to a third tight end in this build. I got 3 running backs that I like, and I've got 5 wide receivers that I like. With Eckler, I think this is a pretty good team, guys. I'm happy. All right, so let's build toward next time. Early for Gage. Wide receivers are also going pretty early here, which is good because I got my core. Jamal Williams. I never draft Ronald Jones, Kenyon Drake, Gus the Bus. You can put Hines in there, end of the 11th. Second quarterback. I would look at Trevor Lawrence. I don't have nobody to stack with Fields. Not that that's the most important thing. 16 names. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I got plenty for this pick. Probably enough for 2 picks. All right. Jimmy Graham has, I like Ingram here. Just be careful. He has the same bye week as Kmet. And I like Kmet. No, like one crazy summer. See you later. You got it, dude. Jimmy Graham has no trade clause. What does that mean? The Kmet's not going anywhere? There goes Gerald Everett, who I enjoy. I would have considered him. Well, I would have just taken Gerald Everett if he was there. But I'm okay. I think you can piece together tight end late. I do. And you know what? If I decide that Kmet's the best player on the board, well, there he goes. So this is a tight end heavy draft. People are really caught up in that. But I'm not going to drop a tier to take a tight end just to have one. Ingram was as good as anyone who was there. Your favorite running back is still on the board. Is he in my Q wheels? Is your favorite David Johnson? Jamal Williams, Ronald Jones. All right, let's go back to the draft board. This guy has 2 tight ends. Pollard. He's making a pretty good team here. This guy's being smart now. So, except why, dude? Why? I don't get that. Bullseye. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I would stop. If I have Gibson, Dobbins, Jacobs, and Harris, I might stop at running back. I certainly would stop for a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty good wide receivers. This is a pretty good team. Tunyon. Streamer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty good value on Samuel. 2, 3, 4. Stafford to go with Cup. That's another pretty good team. A bunch of pretty good teams. We're not seeing a lot of horribleness. A little craziness, but not too much. Naheem Hines is one of my favorites. I love that you're here, Rican. I'm glad to help. I don't have all the answers, but I can give you my name in Africa. Oh, okay. Yeah, and I don't have a lot of him. I would do that.
You are up next.
Yep, there he goes. Sorry, Wheels.
Now you are on the clock.
Well, it's a little early, but they're going early. The guy behind me needs one, and I've already got a massive Tampa Bay stack. So, Gronk, let's hope he got one more good year in him. I now have my second tight end. I can stress less. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide receivers that I really like. And Wheels, I honestly don't feel, I've got 3 good running backs. I am perfectly content because wide receiver takes a pretty big dump off. When you look at wide receiver, it's very thin after this group that's in here. I really have these guys as a nice tier ahead of some other people. So let's go look at Ruggs. I've got 8%. See, I'm showing you guys everything. Callaway, obviously, I'm not going to have a lot. And what I do have, I have late. I have 5%, but I have it really late. I haven't been chasing him in the 10th, 11th, 12th round. Corey Davis at 11%. I like Corey Davis. Pittman and 4. Pittman and 4. I'm under on Pittman, and I like him. And Will Fuller. I would have bet you that I had more Pittman than Fuller, and I don't, which is why you do this exercise.
You are up next.
Ooh, Xavier Jones at 12-1. This guy is a reacher. He's a get your guy type of guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he should be done at running back. Let's see if he makes the mistake of going 6 and 7.
Now you are on the clock.
Only Irv Smith at tight end. Only Tunyon at only Stafford. So Will Fuller went. That leaves me Pittman or Corey Davis. Week 14 bye. I don't have another one. I'm going to go Michael Pittman. I do think he's the number 1 there. I'm going to even out my shares a little bit. He's my 6th. Fuller would have been a great number 6 for the boom weeks. All right. So we got that. Now let's put in the wide receivers that I would consider for the next time. Let's look at tight end. I would consider Ferkser. Not going to take one of those guys. Running back. Gus. David Johnson, Latavius, Madison, Lindsey, and probably Noah McKissick, definitely Gio. Although that's a pretty deep stack of Patriots. Penny and James Chalky White. All right, so quarterbacks. Let's look at who I can stack with. I've got Tyler Boyd, so Joe Burrow is gone. I've got Evan Ingram, so we definitely have Jones as a possible second quarterback. Baker Mayfield to go with Beckham. Wentz to go with Pittman. So I don't feel the need to necessarily, I'll put Baker in, but I don't necessarily feel the need, definitely on the first pick, to go quarterback. Have you ever been able to stress less? What does that mean? Thank you. Once a player creeps up after you, and the answer is death dealers? No. I stress less, but, stressing the details is how you get good at something, right? Some people handle stress better than others. But I don't know what you meant by that, but that's my answer. Once a player creeps up after you've gotten him late, do you avoid for the rest of baseball season? That is something that I fall into, but you don't. It's a bad habit that I have. Don't consider where he used to be. Consider if he's a value where he is the right way to play it. Wheels in the sky keeps on turning. I won't get that song out of my head until tomorrow. Okay, that's a good. All right, now I know what you mean. When you took Gronk, you said that you now have your second tight end and can stress less. So you read late. All right. Yeah, I did, and I didn't understand. Now I do. Thank you, Death Dealers. I do worry that the biggest thing, I do worry about missing out and not being balanced. So when I go through other people's draft boards and I tell you things like, you see how much they spent here. Well, now we're not sure, right? Because he seems to be covering. He's got a great tight end. He's got 3 good running backs. And now he's just loading up at wide receiver. This is a pretty good strategy. So he might actually pull this off. The thing I will say, though, is we won't know until the end, right? Like, is he going to be able to get another running back or 2? I think he definitely needs one. He definitely needs one that'll actually have weekly value. And then, he's got one. He got Galladay, Williams, Shark, Thomas, Elijah Moore, and Coward. So he's got 2 that are hurt right now. A spiky guy, another guy who's hurt, Elijah Moore, who's hurt but should be back, and Callaway, who, I like what he did with Thomas and Callaway together. I do like that. But he's still weak at wide receiver. Now, why Lamar, right? I mean, it was a value, a little bit of a value. But anyway, that is my thought about stressing. I stress that I'll be out of balance and that I won't have a team that's built to, I don't want to be bleeding points at a position. And now that I've got 2 decent tight ends, I feel that I can compete. I still feel it's weaker than I'd like it to be. But all these people who were spending on all these tight ends early, they're going to be weak late in other areas. And look at this guy. He just took Zach Ertz. So now you're looking at a team that's in the 13th round and only has 2 wide receivers. All right. Sure, he can get some decent, and he's going to fall off the cliff value-wise with wide receiver after this. So that's what I stress about. I stress about that I'm going to still need wide receivers, and I'm not going to be able to have any. This team makes no sense to me. 6 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 early quarterbacks, 3 tight ends. Boy, if he beats me, I will be so pissed. I would think so.
You are up next.
I would think so, my friend. So now we're running into a running back run that took James White, Madison, Latavius, really a lot of the running backs I wanted. So that decision I made
now you are on the
last
clock.
time to take Gronk early. And this is why I hate being out of balance. When I took Pittman, he was the best player there. But now I got unlucky. Normally, 13th round, there's a lot of good running backs. I think that Rashad Penny is a decent choice. David Johnson right now looks like a 3rd down back. He's not terrible. I'm going to take Baker Mayfield. I don't think Penny is that much better or DJ than some of these other running backs that are left. And I've got 3 good ones. So that's where that's why, again, back to balance, right? My 4th and 5th running backs aren't going to be great, but my top 3 running backs are Eckler, Barkley, and James Conner. If everything goes right, I don't need a ton out of those last 2. This team is dependent upon Eckler and Barkley, my first 2 picks, doing well. If they don't do well, I'm probably not going to win. If they do well, then I've got Connor to back up their bye weeks and their bad weeks, maybe an injury. So I don't need as much out of running back. If James White had been there, or Madison had been there, or Murray had been there, or Xavier Jones, I would have taken one of them. But since it wasn't, I'm going to strengthen again somewhere else. And when you look at my team, now I've got Baker with Beckham. It opens up some other late stacking options. And I feel pretty good about it. So like this guy, Irv Smith and Hooper, that's pretty weak. Tunyon and Hunter Henry, that could be good enough, actually, in my mind. And it's funny because they were drafted in the same general vicinity. He took Irv first and then Tunyon. I like Hunter Henry a lot more than Austin Hooper. There's 3 different tight ends.
You are up next.
In Cleveland. So I'm going to get one of these 2 running backs. David Johnson looks like the 3rd down back there. I think he's fallen enough. What do you think, Wheels? Billy is a partner of mine. We did 30 or 40 drafts together already. Believe me, I know about his Baker
now
love.
You are on the clock.
I could go with McKissick, but he could lose that job a little bit at some point. Who else is there? I got a lot of Rashad Penny. I'm going to take David Johnson. He does have the same bye week as him. What do you think, Wheels? Yeah, I think he's a value there. Could get traded too. Wheels thought he was a value. I'm still not convinced on Malcolm Brown. I think Gaskin is still the guy, and they're going to mix all three. I think Malcolm Brown's fine, but not over some of these other guys that are still here. All right. So now we go back to my construction, and I've got 4 running backs now. I think DJ is pretty good here. I mean, if he catches 40, 50 passes, it's not going to be far off of James White, and he's got more touchdown equity, I think, than James White in short yardage. We haven't seen enough to know. The 2 tight ends, the 2 quarterbacks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 really strong wide receivers. Pretty good. Let's look at my buddy Hubbard. And this is what he did, right? Started late at tight end, got Everett, and then Ferkser, and then Jarwin. So as you would expect, Dave is doing good work here. He's a little light on running back, but he's been doing that. Let's see what he does. That's a little light at running back. I know Dave knows probably more than me, but this isn't. You can't do waivers here. And I've seen him go 4 running backs. It'll be interesting to see how many he goes with here. Terminators took the other guy on my board, Penny, but I've got a lot of Penny. All right, so McKissick, I think Damian Williams, I think Tevin Coleman, Darrington Evans, Malcolm Brown, and McKinnon are all people I would consider at running back for my 5th. Rager, Sterling Shepard, Gabriel Davis, Bateman, A.J. Green, MVS. No more quarterbacks for me. Dan Arnold, Hayden Hurst. I agree, Wheeler. The more, it's funny because we had a question earlier about, something similar, and a pass catching back should be a valuable asset late. I forgot the point I was going to make. Where did Lindsey go? To Houston. It was a joke. Where did Lindsey go? Oh, the draft board I posted earlier. FFQ later, but here it is again. So you can keep up on things. So Damian went, McKinnon went, Darrell Williams went. I'm very not worried about 5th running back right now. I feel like I got 4 good ones. Don't know where I'll be tomorrow. I know I was being a wise ass with the Houston comment. You'll get used to my my weird sense of humor. Wheeler did. Man, it would have been nice to get Gio Bernard. But I got 3 players on the stack already. You guys don't mind if I just sit here quietly and think for a second, right? Well, I got something fun we could do. I'm stop sharing my screen for a second. All right, we're back.
You are up next.
I bet I'm on the board in like 5 or 6 leagues. Yep. So let's do some picking, guys. Let's make this as interesting as I can for you.
Now you are on the clock.
Ramondre. I like Ramondre a lot. Musio gives me shit about it. I'm going to take my third tight end. I have a lot of Hayden Hurst, as you guys saw. I think they're going to play a lot of 2 tight end sets. He's a talented guy. Having Pitts is going to open up the field for him. There's some other good choices in here, guys I hate to pass on, but I feel like I'm a little weak at tight end, and I'm going to take Hayden Hurst. You like it, Wheels? Oh, and O.J. Howard went next. I bet Hurst wouldn't have made it. And see, that's where overstacking, you can overstack. O.J. Howard was never on my radar for this. Gabriel Davis. I do need a running back.
You are up next.
Randall Cobb. Man, I haven't drafted that dude in like 4 years. Imagine drafting Randall Cobb over AJ Green. Oh, you know, if you're going to go older wide receiver.
Now you are on the clock.
All right. So I didn't put him in the queue because I didn't, I think Gainwell's going to be the third down back. And I think he's a good 5th running back. I think I like him better than Malcolm Brown. He certainly has more upside. Because if Gaskin goes down, Ahmed's not going anywhere. He's going to be there. So I don't have a lot of Gainwell. I hate to pass on A.J. Green. I'm done with Dan Arnold now. So let's go back to my Hurst great value. I love Hurst there. He's going to get his, especially for best ball. Yep. So, but there's a deeper point here, right? I talk about how to blend. Like this guy went 3 quarterbacks late. I mean, that's not bad. And 3 tight ends late. But look, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's not bad. But I don't like going 3 and 3. I like only if I go 3, I do it with one position. So if you look at my team now, Brady, who I think has as much potential as some of these guys, and Mayfield. So I'm really happy at quarterback. especially with what I paid for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My running backs could my fourth and fifth running back could be a little better, but overall, it's a good group. Wide receiver, we already talked about this. It's the heart of the team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 really good wide receivers. And now tight end. It needed a little boost. I gave it. And you know what? If 1 week Ingram scores 20 points and Gronk scores 20 points, one of them will be in the flex. That's the beauty of having 2 flexes. And it's also about balancing your team, because you don't, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face, Mike Tyson said. When you're drafting and you get punched in the face and all of a sudden tight ends are going way earlier than you thought, you got to come up with a backup plan. And for me, it was taking 3, and it was doing it, Ingram, Gronk, and Hurst. I feel that, it's not a strength of the team, but I wouldn't call it a weakness either. I don't think this team has a weakness that you would really say, oh, wow, that's really a weakness. Let's see where I can do with my last 2 picks, probably wide receivers. So I've got Brady and Mayfield. Brady really doesn't have anyone late I want to stack with. Mayfield does. And AJ Green and all the guys I liked are gone. But that's life. I wanted to balance my team, and I gave up a little bit with my 7th wide receiver and 8th wide receiver to do it. All right. Aguilar. He's running a lot of big routes. Crowder, sure. Nico, sure. Pringle, my most owned guy, he's going to be in there. Donovan Peoples-Jones been showing out. Quez Watkins looks like a starter. Slayton's been doing well, and I've got Ingram, and you can certainly stack without having 2 people. I think Eskridge is an interesting pick. So this is what I do. I go through. Kendrick Bourne, I think, is interesting. He's going to be on the field a lot. I mean, that's what I'm looking for late. I'm looking for guys who are going to be on the field, or guys who might not be on the field, but, with an injury, they could be, and then really do well. So there's nobody else I really like. I've got 10 wide receivers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So chances are I'm going to have 4 or 5 on the board. But let's look at running back. Malcolm Brown's still there. Oh, I got 9 running backs. Boston Scott. Sony Michel could get traded. He's an interesting one. All right. I'm not going to take a 3rd quarterback. I'm not going to take a 4th tight end. So this is really my list for now. Malcolm Brown as a 6th running back wouldn't be bad. I've got a draft at 9:30. Okay, so let's real quickly do a couple picks in the puppy. So I've got 2.
You are up next.
I really can't concentrate. 2, 5, 7, 2. So I've got Herbert and Wentz. What wide receivers are left? Nobody from either team. Week 17, Baltimore. And who do they play? Could use a tight end. Ebron. I don't mind going 3. Ebron's a good 3rd tight end. Because Ertz isn't the greatest 2nd. So, all right, I didn't do too many, but I did 1.
Now you are on the clock.
All right. So I'm going to take Donovan Peoples-Jones because he is a stack. Why take a chance on him being taken in between? He gives me a secondary stack with Baker and with Beckham. So to me, that's a no-brainer. And that's the thing, like I talk value, 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 get value, get value. Well, sometimes you need to know when not to, like if I have to choose, let's say I love Pringle, and I do. Well, let's say he goes in the next few picks. Well, any of these other guys is, not that far off at this late in the draft. But if I lost the stack, I lost something valuable. And it also ends up with why I end up with ownership that is so blended. I know who I want. I know who I want. Perriman's not a bad choice, actually.
Now you are on the clock.
All right. So I'm going to take Slayton because I have Ingram. I don't have too many, and that's just, again, an extra correlation, an extra stack at the end. Boom. That's my team. That's my draft board. Once again, 5 running backs. 2 is 7 is 10 and 8 wide receivers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I like it, guys. I mean, considering it's the number 10, it's not a bad team. Not a bad team. All right. We'll do one more pick over here. Go to draft. So I got Rodgers. I got 5 running backs. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2. Got a nice green base stack going. I really could use a quarterback. Baker's right there. Do I have a stack with him? No. What other quarterbacks are there? Ben, do I have a stack there? No. Daniel Jones? No. Darnold? I do. Where am I in? I'm on 15-7. Might he make it back? Is there anyone here that I'm going to really hate myself for not taking? Got 5 running backs. I don't need another tight end. Perriman, I'm not losing out at wide receiver. I am just going to take the quarterback that has a stack, Sam Darnold. And boom, that's another pick that was made that you guys got to see. I get it. I get it with Perriman. Anyway, that's going to do it, guys. I want to thank you for hanging out. And I love when you guys come on and do comments. So always feel free to do it. That's going to do it. I have another draft in 10 minutes, and I'll see you later.